can't think of any reason why the two of you wouldn't want the murderer found.
We don't have any reason, and I don't know why you think so.
Well, I'm just a little puzzled by your attitude.
Edwina, please, just give me a minute to think, all right?
Only take a minute, Mrs. Jansen.
You see, Melinda, the press has always had a vital role in helping to solve murders. In fact, the police depend on the press to get certain information out to the public. But my hands are tied if others won't cooperate. You're being very derelict in your responsibility to your fellow citizens by refusing to have a crucial clue photographed. And as much as I don't want to do it, I'm going to have to report that refusal to the Chronicle.
Just one shot, Mrs. Jansen.
All right, I'll get the gun. Oh, how very interesting. Well, it's a little dusty, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm sure you have better things to do with your time than to polish your husband's gun.
Okay, Brad, he's ready for you now. Ah, hello, Brad. Season's greetings, Captain. Sit down, sit down. Heck of a way to spend the holiday, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you'd make it a lot easier on yourself if you wouldn't call in everyone in town who's got any kind of record. Seriously, is this going to be a preview of what's to come? Am I going to be hauled in here like a common criminal every time somebody commits a crime?
Now, take it easy, Brad. Take it easy. The fact that you have a record for perjury has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, well, I find that a little hard to buy. I had absolutely no connection with Marco's murder. Did the newspapers list the correct time of death?
They did?
Yeah, well, during those hours, I had just left Jenny. I was on my way to the Hotel Wallington to meet Mr. Brewster, and shortly after that, we boarded a plane to Las Vegas. So my alibi is airtight.
You had an appointment with Marco during the exact hours he was killed. You want to tell me about that, Brad?
Marco? Who gave you that idea?
I got it from Marco's appointment calendar. As a matter of fact, he had you penciled in from 4 to 6. Now, that's a pretty large chunk of time. You two must have had a lot to say to each other.
I had nothing to say to Marco. I don't care what was on his appointment calendar. I wouldn't give that guy the time of day, let alone arrange to meet with him.
All right, don't get excited, Brad. Even if you did meet with him, nobody's saying you had anything to do with his death.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. But answer me this, Ed. Why would I make an appointment with Marco the same time I'm scheduled to fly to Las Vegas, huh?
All right.
Maybe you're clever, huh?
I mean, if you want to knock somebody off, it's a good thing to do it when you're supposed to be somewhere else, right? Then you just sort of jump into your car and take off back to the Wallington, right on schedule, right? Now, don't get excited. You asked a question, I'm just answering it.
This is unbelievable. Look, I'm telling you the truth. I had nothing to do with Marco's death. I haven't even seen the guy since...
Since you had the fight at Tony's? The one Adam Brewster broke up? Is that what you were going to say?
It wasn't a fight. We just had a little scuffle.
Want to tell me about it?
There's nothing to tell. He just made a big point of coming over to my table and telling me how great the club was doing.
That made you mad?
No. Who cares how great his profits were? We weren't running the same kind of business. I was running a health club, not a massage parlor. You know, Ed, the real question is not how great his profits were, but how come he was allowed to make... I mean, everybody in town knew what was going on over there, so how come he was allowed to get away with it, huh? How come you didn't crack down on him? Oh, I know, your hands must have been tied, right? You know, I would just love to know who he was paying off. Maybe that's what you should be investigating now instead of his murder.
All right, Brad, I'm used to people attacking me when they're anxious, under stress, tend to lash out a little bit. When they get carried away, as you just did just now, I start to wonder if they got a little something to hide after all.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious, Brad. If there's anything you haven't told me, I suggest you do it right now.
Well, what do you want me to do? You want me to tell you I didn't like Marco? I hated his guts, all right? And I'll tell you something else. I'm not even sorry he's dead. And as far as I'm concerned, you guys really have your work cut out for you. Because anyone who spent a half an hour with that guy had a reason for wishing him dead. But I had nothing to do with it, and I have nothing more to say about it. So if you'll excuse me, I really do have to leave. Sam's in the hospital. She's going to be operated on tomorrow, and I'd like to pay her a visit. Is that okay?
Okay.
And here we are, Miss Vernon, the finest room in the entire West Wing. I hope it'll be satisfactory.
Well, perfectly satisfactory, Dr. Wolek. I'll take it.
It's yours, but only for 3 or 4 days, then we're going to have you out of here, right, Tony?
You bet.
Is that a promise?
Better than that, it's a guarantee. As fine as Landview Hospital is, I know it's no place to spend the holidays.
You'll be back out just in time to start the new year.
There you go. I'll let you get settled and see you all later. I've got a lot of work to do before I go home.
Oh, did you believe the hours this man Christina?
I'll find it hard to believe myself. I'll see you later, Tony.
Okay, say hello to Karen and Danny.
I sure will. You, young lady, I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
I'll be expecting you.
All right.
Something wrong, Sam?
Tell me something, Tony. How do they do it? I mean, how do Larry and Jim Craig and my father come to this place day after day and expose themselves to all this pain? I mean, they're constantly dealing with tragedy. Doesn't it ever get to them?
Oh, I'm sure it does, sometimes. But you got to remember, too, that they make people happy. They do cure them, you know. And it must be a pretty heady thing to give somebody a new lease of life.
You're right, of course. You know what my problem is?
No.
Very little thing, really. I think that the whole world revolves around me.
Oh, that's perfectly understandable the night before your operation.
Yeah, but... Well, it's not like I'm afraid of the operation or even of the pain. Well, it's just that I've been looking forward to this moment for so long, and...
And now that it's here, you're frightened by it.
Tony, what if it isn't a success?
It's going to be a success. You're going to be just like you were before.
Oh, no. I'll never be the same. Not inside. That little girl that ran from your restaurant that night is gone. I'm glad she is. I don't miss her.
Well, that little girl had an awful lot working for her. You know something else? I'm really half grown up.
Isn't it about time, Tony?
I could have told you he'd had a chip on his shoulder. What can you do? That guy just never grew up. Hey, it's almost 9 o'clock. Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay. We'll go over, set up the tomorrow morning schedule, and then we'll call it a night, all right? Now, I want that Mr. Page in here to be fingerprinted first thing. Page? Oh, Viki's banker. Right. Then I want to set up an appointment with Melinda Jansen. Melinda? How come? Because her fingerprints were in Marco Dane's office. That's how come.
One Life to Live will continue in a moment.
Darling, I would love to plan exciting but economical New Year's Day dinners for the Banner's food page, but if I do that, our own family won't eat today.
Oh, we could eat out.
Well, we could, but then we might not have a house to come back to, because in case you haven't noticed, this one is falling apart at the seams. Sweetheart, I hate to disappoint you, but I finally convinced the washing machine repairman to come here today, so I have to be here.
Oh, I see. You going out today, though?
Maybe to the corner for some milk. But other than that, no. I was hoping to spend some time with Tina now that she's on school vacation.
I'm very pleased, by the way, that you're getting along so well with her.
So am I, darling, so am I. She started confiding in me again. Last night she told me how proud she was of Greg for the way he handled himself with Ed Hall when he was being questioned. He just took it in stride.
It must have been difficult for the boy.
I must say I marvel at the young people of today. They are able to withstand so much stress.
Yeah, I respect that, too. It's just sad that they have to cope with so much so soon.
Anyway, after Kevin's nap, Tina has promised to give me a crash course in music appreciation. She's going to play one of the rock albums that Greg gave her for Christmas.
Oh, really? In that case, I think I'll get an early start.
Joe.
idea that you'd bring over a phonograph, but how will the rest of the West Wing feel about it?
Well, I'm sure that they'll love it. But since you're not going to be operated on until 1:30 today, I think that I'll hold off until tomorrow. But after that, I am counting on you to put in some serious work. It's time you made those initial decisions on what records we're going to use for the disco. You know, we have to get that whole project off the ground.
Well, Tony, you're still the same old slave driver.
Sam, that is not fair.
Hey, big Sam, my love.
Wanda sends you her love. Now, look, I'm going to drop by in a little while. But right now I'm going to have to hang up because the real slave driver is here.
Oh.
So I'll see you in a little while, and you keep your spirits up, okay?
I will, Tony.
Goodbye.
Boy, if I was the touchy type, I would be offended. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have other things on my mind this morning. Take a look at that. Mind you, I don't usually buy the Chronicle, but I was walking past the newsstand and that picture popped up at me.
Melinda Jansen holding two considered a murder. How could she possibly allow herself to be photographed like that?
Well, I have my suspicions. Edwina Lewis is the kind of person that will stop at nothing to get a story.
Oh, the byline. I should have realized that Edwina Lewis had a hand in this.
I guess she's so ticked off at Joe Riley and the Banner that she'll do anything to increase the Chronicle's circulation. What does she care if innocent people get hurt? All she wants to do is sell papers. That's all that counts.
Well, I see that it was in your case.
Are you finished with this? Because I'm going to go throw this out.
That's a good one.
You know something? I hate to say this, but I know that Melinda's not capable of hurting a fly, but if I didn't...
Edwin is unbelievable. She's almost hypnotized by that. Drama. Pretty sick attitude.
Oh, I could just imagine what Dorian's going to say.
Oh, she's going to be pretty upset.
Sad about what? The fact that the opposition got a scoop on me?
Oh, that's not fair. She's going to be upset for you.
We'll see.
Lynn, look, this is done. There's nothing you can do about it. We can't undo it. What you have to do now is deal with it. Now, look.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing technical difficulties with the network transmission. Please bear with us.
You're having to bail me out. Oh, if this day keeps up like this, I am going to get into bed and pull the covers over my head.
Mom, I know just how you feel, but take a look at the bright side. We obviously came through the fingerprint test with flying colors.
How do you know that?
Well, I mean, it only takes a couple of hours to check fingerprints, so if our prints had been in Marco's office, Ed would have called like that.
Well, this is a new one on me, Captain Hall. Being fingerprinted.
Well, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, Mr. Page, but it's unavoidable.
Well, it's not the inconvenience. I live a very sedate life. The most exciting thing that's happened to me in the past decade has been my terrier winning third prize at the annual dog show. And now to be implicated in a murder, well, it gives one pause.
Well, implicated is a very strong word. Mr. Page, we're just checking everybody who was at Dorian's party.
Do you know that's the first party I've been to in years? And I can assure you it'll be many, many more years before I attend another one.
How did you come to be there? You a friend of Dorian's?
Oh, no. No, I was a friend of Victor Lord's. And of course, I've always handled Victoria's trust fund. Victoria, by the way, made a very strange request that evening. She asked me to arrange for $50,000 in cash for the following morning. Now, that's very unlike her. I always assumed that she had inherited Victor's conservatism in money matters.
Did you give it to her?
Oh, yes. Mine's not the question why. I suppose I shouldn't have volunteered this information, Captain Hall, but you chaps are doing such a good job of it, I thought you'd find out soon enough.
We probably would have, Mr. Page, but I appreciate your telling us anyway.
whole thing has turned into some kind of a freak show. I can't stand it.
Here, drink your tea and try to relax.
Mrs. Hopkins, how did you manage to get rid of Edwina?
Well, I'm a little older than you and quite a great deal less trusting. In other words, I have learned to smell a rat.
I guess I'm just an easy mark. I mean, that photograph, it's as awful as it is, but it isn't my real problem.
Yes, I know that, Lynn.
Peter said that he thinks that Ed would call if he discovered the fingerprints anywhere. But I think that he just hasn't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd love to reassure you, but it would just be false hope.
So what am I going to say to him when he discovers my fingerprints in Marco's office?
Oh, if you're smart, you're telling the truth.
You mean about Bruno Weston?
Darling, what choice do you have? You're no longer involved in a domestic drama. You're dealing with the authorities.
Mrs. Hopkins, please. You've told me all that. Please, just don't rub it in.
Okay. All right. I'll try not to add your anxieties. Oh, yeah. Let's just seize the moment. Peace and quiet. Lord knows I could use a little unwinding myself.
Why, is something wrong?
Well, I talked to Mario in Colorado last night.
That's Marco's brother. Why did you call him?
Well, his brother was murdered, and I thought one condolence call would be in order. Anyway, it turned out Mario's already been contacted by the police, and he's asked them to cremate Marco's body and send him the ashes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Larry. What's this 10-letter word for dramatic?
Histrionic. Huh?
Hey, that's it.
Right. Well, I have seen blasé patients before, but you really something.
Don't let it fool you, Larry. It's just an act. Look at this. As you can see, I haven't gotten very far. I've been working on that for over an hour.
Well, why don't you put it down for a while?
No, I'm too afraid. I'm afraid of being afraid, if that makes any sense. Not the operation itself, but the outcome.
Sam, the operation has a great chance of success.
But there are always unknown dangers in any operation. I know that. I'm a doctor's daughter, remember?
Well, in this case, the dangers are remote. You are in good hands. Dr. Emerson's one of the best, and I have a feeling he's going to put you in good shape.
You just won't let anybody feel pessimistic around you, will you?
You have nothing to be pessimistic about.
Oh, Larry. You know, I'm not really worried about myself that much. I've lived with the scars, and if it didn't work out today, well, I could learn to live with it a little bit longer. But look what I've put others through. Look how guilty I've made people feel.
You talking about Tony?
Yeah. Larry, he's blamed himself for the accident. He suffered so much that I just don't want him to have to go through anything more. This operation has to succeed. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Hey, don't you know you're not supposed to bring flowers for the patient until after the operation?
Well, that's not a hard and fast rule, is it, Larry?
Well,
Do you suppose that you could find a vase in this establishment for these flowers?
I'll get right on it.
Hey, Tony, don't you think he has more important things to do with his time?
No. No, see the smile on your face, my number one priority. I'll see you later. Goodbye.
And I also brought you the map. I didn't bring you the Chronicle because Wanda wouldn't let me. Seems she doesn't like the way that Edwina is conducting the investigation with investigating reporting. And I must say that there are quite a few other people who don't either.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel, Briggs. It's irresponsible, and for all my criticism of Edwina, I never thought she was capable of something as shoddy as that article. Yeah, it just shows how wrong I can be, isn't it? Oh, look, Briggs, I think it's about time I got off the phone and got down there to see you. Okay, then a little one. Bye.
I think you better make a dash for it before the phone rings again.
Okay, that's a good idea. You have a good day, huh?
You too,
Oh, that'll
darling.
be your washing machine, Philip.
Well, thank heavens.
Hello, Joe, Viki. What?
Ed, how are you?
Fine, fine.
Well, please come in.
Thank you, thank you.
No, thanks, Viki. I'm afraid this isn't a social call either. I'm here on official business.
Promise me one thing.
Sure.
Promise me that no matter what happens this afternoon, you won't feel responsible. Come on, give me your word on that. It'll make me brave.
Sam, you are already brave.
I'm trying. Then you made me realize that there's no point in being anything else. Every time I wanted to hide or feel sorry for myself, there you were, always forcing me out of my shell.
Was I help or nuisance?
Oh, Tony, you were wonderful. I mean, you are wonderful. I know I haven't exactly made it easy for you sometimes. But, Tony, you have given me hope. And I'm not saying that just to flatter you. I'm saying it because it's true.
Well, I'm glad that I could do something for you. It was right. For once in my life.
So, after Mr. Page left, I checked the story. You not only withdrew $50,000, but you redeposited exactly that same amount the very next day.
Yes, I did.
Well, maybe it's a coincidence, but if it is, then it's a coincidence that needs an explanation.
It's really very simple. I was considering making a real estate investment. And they requested a cash binder of me, but then we couldn't come to terms, so I redeposited the money the next day.
I see. Viki, you already admitted being at the health club after the murder, and you have refused to tell me why. But in the light of this new information, well, I don't know, maybe I'm a conventional fellow, but it sounds to me like a clear case of extortion. Was Marco blackmailing you?
No, Ed, he was not.
None of this seems to surprise you, Joe.
Viki and I have no secrets, Ed.
All right, why don't we backtrack just a little bit, Viki? What firm were you doing business with?
The Timmins Real Estate Company. It's a Canadian firm. It's based in Ontario. I was going to buy timberland.
Timberland.
Yes, for the potential pulp. There was a misunderstanding about the price. It's unfortunate, really, because I have dealt with them before.
Just where in Ontario are they located?
I really can't think of the name right now. It's one of those very complicated Indian names. I suppose I could look it up for you and tell you later if you'd like.
I would appreciate it if you did that as soon as possible.
Yes, of course.
How long have we known each other?
Well, a few years now, Ed. Time really flies by, too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, Joe. I guess being a detective makes me kind of skeptical, but I thought I'd never have to question the truthfulness of any of my friends.
I'll be in touch with you.
Goodbye, Ed.
So long, Ed.
Off guard, and it was the first thing that came to my mind. Darling, I'm very sorry you had to be here for this, but I cannot tell Ed any more than I have already told him. I cannot involve Tina in any way. No, especially not now that she's feeling a bit better. Joe, they're going to find the murderer, and the whole thing will blow over.
Sweetheart?
No one need ever know about Tina's involvement with Marco.
I'm afraid that's wishful thinking.
Oh, it's 11:15 already. I have to go and wake Kevin up from his nap. Have a good day, honey.
to hear from you.
Congratulations on your trial victory.
Thank you. We had a very...
You feel that way since they acquitted your client?
Never mind that. When are you and Viki going to come over here to Pine Valley?
Paul, there's something I have to talk over with you as soon as possible.
Would you like to brief me on the phone?
Well, Viki may need a lawyer. No, I'm afraid she will need a lawyer, a damn good criminal lawyer. Can I come over there and see you now?
Yes, of course, Joe. There's no problem at all.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it.
Right. See you soon.
She's the target, and on one life to live.
Are you telling me that you have positive proof that Viki was involved in Russell's murder?
Can Viki hide the truth?
Was Marshall blackmailing you?
All Right Children, One Life to Live. Every weekday on ABC.